Hello, hello, Indy here, and today we're going to go through my blaster gameplay of Hard Valtan, just for something different. I guess we could go through like each step of the fight. Here we are, we're dumping in a lot of destruction skills into Valtan, including a destruction grenade, so we can get those 2 layers of armor off him really quick. Now unfortunately one of the party members goes to a different pillar, but it's not that much of a big deal because he still gets staggered, and we get a nice little DPS phase here. Now, unless you have a dominant Fang, I wouldn't drop my ulti like I just did here. I only used it because I wanted to get the Inner Awakening buff, which is a set bonus from the dominant Fang set. It's a very good buff that gives cooldown reduction and skill damage. Notice how in that little pattern just then I was just walking around in a circle. There's no need to walk around the entire arena. Right here, as soon as you break his armor, you can drop your first ult if you're using the missile saturation ult. Otherwise, I would just dump some quick skills because he's only there for a little short while. Now you watch how I'm going in a circle here. Just little circles, you don't have to go across the entire arena, just find a spot and walk around in a circle. Remember, you got your personal shield and you got time stop if you get caught out somehow, like if there aren't enough broken walls or something. He would be another good time to drop your ult if he's like standing still. Turret or missile saturation, otherwise fine, because both armor layers are gone. Or you could just wait, if your party has a lot of impair, you could just wait until he gets impaired and then ult then. But to be honest, it's not that big of a deal. So, by the way, make sure you stand in Bar Hunter's AoE so you don't get own zoned by that big crown slam. This is a pretty common pattern. Make sure you walk into his axe when he does those 3 swings. You can also drop your turret here like I just did. You can actually drop that turret while he's landing, which is what I did. You'll find you get a lot of opportunities to go into turret mode and drop a laser beam like that, but it's not a big deal if you can't find a good opportunity to do so. Just stay alive. For this pattern, I often just stay as close. If I'm the one targeted with the red cone, I'll try and stay as close as to Valtan as possible, or the center there, and then I'll just dodge over to the right or left at the last second and then time stop. I'm just too scared of like killing people at pillars or something. Great advantage of blasters being able to knock people out of their stun from far away. Now, like I said here, this is where he's about to get impaired. If you had a group with more impair, you could probably just wait until this point before ulting. Like just right now. Oh, that's something that can happen too. He can just like jump up and break the platform. Here's another cone targeting phase. Again, try and stay as close as possible to Valtan, and then just try and dodge at the last second. I think I get targeted here, yeah I do. And I always pop my shield just in case. I got hit there anyway. I guess the trick there is kind of to dodge closer towards him, but just keep in mind that you can't dodge through him. Oh, when the axe is glowing, make sure you're outside, yeah, like that. When he raises his axe like that, if it's glowing, out is safe. If it's not glowing, in is safe. He's that 3 swing pattern again. So you want to sort of go in towards his axe, but make sure you're actually not on when his axe lands, because that actually will hurt you. This part is always spooky. I don't know, just hope for the best. Stay close to this wall, kind of. Unless your bard or your warlord is pinging you to stay near them for some shields. Remember, you've also got your personal shield and your time stop for moments like that. Unfortunately, I miss my turret there. So this is the single counter pattern. It's a very, very short window. You just saw there. Very short window. So the more people, the better, spamming their counters, and you're more likely to succeed. It just happens to be that blasters have like one of the slowest counters, unfortunately. In that phase, you just have to do damage, and then once you do enough damage, you break his shield, and then you can impair him. Just basically just damage and impair. Otherwise, you wipe. This one, he'll target someone for 3 swings, and then on the 3rd swing, he'll just slam down at the same spot. The key health bar to remember is 30 bars. When it's 30 bars, you want to be on the other side of the platform, because he will destroy the right side of this platform, and if you're there, you die. Not much to be said here, just keep DPSing him. There's one more pattern that happens that is a big potential for wiping, and that pattern is it looks similar to when he raises his axe, but he does a small ground stomp before it, and you'll have to make sure you counter at least 2 of them, usually like the 1st and the 3rd, but you'll have to get 3 counters, otherwise you wipe. But always on the 3rd, always. It's relatively easy to get. You should just know that anyone who counters Valtan during that pattern will get silenced until that pattern is finished. And anyone who's near Valtan, or that person who counters Valtan when he's countered, will also get silenced. So you have to be careful to not all be close to Valtan when he's doing his counters. And like you just saw, like around 30 bars, I guess he jumps kind of early here at 36 bars. He'll destroy the other half of the platform, and then you have this small platform here. Okay, now this is where it gets really spooky. Okay, see that? He just popped his counter. If my nuke and missile bomb had landed like a second later, I might have triggered the counter and just blown everyone off the platform. So as a blaster, you have to be particularly careful because of the delay in your skills. And there he does it again. He does it again. I have wiped parties before with my delayed skills. I think your ultimate doesn't trigger it, your turret doesn't trigger it. That's what I've been told, but you know, just to be safe, maybe drop the turret after a pattern. So typically what you do is like you watch his animation. If he's not doing the counterattack, then you can drop your skills. Always be careful. Okay, so in this part, typically people group up and they'll drop a hunter. So stay here long enough to get the buff, and then you run together as a group, either clockwise or counterclockwise, until that red zone is gone. You go in, and then you go out. You go to the place where there's no pillar. So probably the biggest risk in this phase are the grabs. So he'll do a grab soon, and the counter attack, where he'll hold his axe back, and you have to make sure you don't drop your skills on him at that time, because when it reaches like a certain damage threshold, he'll just kill everyone. Now in this part, always be watching your teammates if they're going to go counter a ghost, so you don't waste your own counter, which is your napalm. Again, it's like one of the harder counters in the game because it's quite slow. So here it is here. I think we get a nice one here, yeah. So it's got a bit of a ramp up compared to other counters. Some counters of the game are really fast, but Blaster happens to have one of the slower ones. So take full advantage of your shield, your turret even. Your turret has a nice shield on it, and also prevents you from getting knocked off. Basically, you know, just survive, do as much damage as you can, get counters, because every time you get a counter, you fill up the Esther gauge at the top left, so you can call in Chilean and do big damage. That's the grab right there, that's the grab you have to be careful of. Sometimes, I've died many times just being like animation locked on like my warlord or other classes. Now notice when I go into turret here, I don't exit immediately because I think he does one ground. See, right here I could exit, but he does that ground slam. I just tank it because if I had got it at my turret, he would have for sure knocked me off of the edge. So always be aware of like your stagger and knock up immunities and just use them to your advantage. There's only 2 of us left here, but we have Shillian up and he's only got 17 bars. Shillian does about 10 bars. Yep, he just did about 10 bars, 9 bars actually. But he should melt here pretty soon. You can drop your missile bomb and your nuke at like the last second of that counter because of the delay. And we get a nice kill with the Reaper, yeah. So there it is, boys. Hard mode Valtan. This was something different. I just wanted to try a bit of commentary, see if people responded to this. But yeah, if you want to watch me live, I do stream at Twitch, twitch.tv ndmate. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. Goodbye, goodbye.